Hello there, you guys. I'm a little early. I got settled. I was rushing. I was like, oh, I got to get settled. You all, today has been the day. I want to keep my cousin. I want to keep my cousin in our prayers. She lost her only son. She lost her only child today. She lost her only child today at about 2 o'clock today. Um, we just have to be very careful, and it's something because I couldn't even wrap my mind around it. Like when her one of my other relatives called me and was like, Tasha son was just killed. I couldn't. I was. She said our cousin Tasha. I couldn't because I couldn't believe that it would be her son. So I'm thinking all over her. We ain't even hardly got that many cousins named Tasha. Like I'm just thinking all over that Tasha because I'm like, no, I would never even have thought that it was her son. So, um, her only child, and it's really sad. Like, um, I don't think that the guy was trying to do it. He was into it with his half brother. His half brother has stolen his gun and went to his friend's house. His half brother didn't have anywhere to go, so he was letting him stay with. He had just moved out of um his grandmother's house and got his own place. He and his girlfriend, and he's like 26. They had just had a baby, and so he goes to his half brother's friend's house and go off on his brother. You stole my gun. Just I guess what guys do. And the friend, I don't think he was trying to kill him, but he shoots the girlfriend, his baby's mother, in the hand and shot him in the shoulder to try. I guess I don't know what he thought he was doing, but anyways, the um bullet traveled from his shoulder to his heart. Oh, I tell you, it really is sad. I tell you, it's just sad. His grandmother had called my mom, and she was like, he was at the hospital. They had gotten a call. He was at the hospital, and they tried. I think he died on the scene. They brought him back, and then they said it was just a shoulder shot. And then she called my mother back and said he gone. I tell you, it's just so sad. It really is. All for nothing. All for nothing. All for nothing. Now, I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't when stuff like, yeah, the one in Olive Branch. Yeah, the one in Olive Branch. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. Um people get into it all the time. Family members, um friends. Don't you understand that if you shoot them, you could shoot a person in the finger, and you could hit a main artery, like it could travel. You ain't trying to kill them, but why use a gun? Why? So I tell you, that's her only child, and she had him pretty late in life. Anyways, stuff like this, I don't even like to think about or talk about when it first happens. My mother asked me, "Are you coming over?" I thought about it because I know my whole family is over there, but I don't want to right now because it ain't gonna be nothing but a bunch of long faces, and it's just too new. It's just a few hours old, so I know how to I do better. I have to protect me because death is just not. It takes a minute to process. And I know it's not about me, but I think, people always say, you have to be strong for the other person. I think people need to do what works for them, because you've had people who wanted to be strong and people said, don't be selfish, this and that. They get to the funeral and have a heart attack because they trying to be strong, but their heart ain't strong enough. So I think people need to do. I kind of handle things in isolation. That's kind of how I've been able to cope with a lot of stuff in isolation. It helps me. I'm telling you, it do. It helps me. Um, Thank you, chocolate. Thank you. I tell you, and it's something because we have been getting on the praying line and just praying for the children. Like I've been praying for the children and for our kids and all of that. It had just been in my spirit for God to just protect our kids um and I started praying but for before Black Barbie got on the line, and she kind of brought it back around again. I was like, I'm glad that she started getting on the praying line, and she brought to my remembrance we need to start back praying for our children, and not just our children, everybody's children, because believe it or not, you have to pray for everybody's kids because our kids are out there with everybody else's kids and their kids affect our children. So that's why we have to keep everybody's kids prayed up and pray that the Holy Spirit guides them and they don't do crazy stuff like just what happened a few minutes ago. Right. Protect the mental health. I'm telling you. So I remember when my grandmother passed, I almost didn't go to the funeral. My mama said, go for me. I almost didn't go to the funeral because I didn't think I could make it. People have perceptions of they don't go to, she ain't care nothing about her grandmother. No, I love the so much and too much. People don't know what you're feeling when you have to sit there and look at somebody lay in a casket who has raised you, helped to raise you. I didn't think psychologically that I would be able to make it. I told my mama, I said, you'll mess around and be burying me down there with her. Yeah. Anyways, y'all, it's gonna be a good show tonight. I don't want to make this sad. That's why I say it just happened with him. I gotta stay away from that until I can process it and be right. Okay. But we definitely gonna keep Tasha in our prayers. Tasha is like the sweetest cousin in the whole wide world. She is like the sweetest cousin in the whole world. Okay, so y'all, Mr. N is going to be on tonight. Okay, he's 2 minutes late. He is 2 minutes late, but we're gonna get him those 2 minutes. Okay, let's see. I see him another link. Oh, here you go, right here. Everybody, y'all give it up for Memphis's own producer, Mr. N. What's going on, Mr. N?
How are you today? How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Um, trying to keep this schedule that we set up so I can get on here and talk to you and say what's up to everybody.
Well, I'm glad that you did. I know you're a busy man, so I be appreciating it when you take out time for some a little bit of old me.
Nah, it ain't like that. You got a great platform. Um, the audience is a great audience. They always give feedback in the comments what they thought about everything. Um, and you got a great thing going. We're gonna keep it going, and
And they be trying to pick your brain at the end. They always asking questions, Mr. Ian, how can I start this? Mr. Ian, how
yeah,
can I start that?
I said we should cover subjects and then do a brief intermission before the answering questions this time. Last time they tried to nail me to the wall on everything, but maybe we'll try that out this time.
I think that we should, you know what? I think that we should do a show around that. Like,
Right.
um, I'll think of a name of it, up and coming artists or whatever. If they want to ask you questions, you can answer them, and then if they want to reach out to you behind the scenes, whatever, and do business,
Absolutely.
like that, I think that's a good idea.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
So
what's
what's
been
on?
going on, Mr. N? Tell me what's been going on in your life before we get into the
Well,
real deep stuff.
it's preparing for, uh, a completely different presentation, to put it in simple, and that is, new music that's geared toward the message, and that's turning the page, because I think Memphis, and just music in general, needs to turn the page. It's at a point to turn the page. I don't think that that's a secret anymore. I don't think uh, the statistics and the charts, and what people are spending on promoting certain types of music. I think that's pretty obvious at this point to the people who are in the music industry. But I think that it's just something that everyone needs to know, that the page is turning, and Memphis certainly has to turn the page. I'm hearing a lot of different vibes come out of there that are different from what we're used to, that are not necessarily killing and walking them down, and Pooh Shiesty is that whole concept, the Shiesty mask, and all of this is on its way out, because it's not nothing positive that come out of it, and it isn't cool to throw your life away, and if you're using that mask to uh, rob or burglarize, and you're a young person. There's just that's played, that's old, that's cooked, because it's so many different ways to get money online now, that young people are, figuring out, well, we can do this, we can do that, and they're making a lot of money. Some of them becoming millionaires, and so what I've been doing is preparing for, uh, that change, and that the presentation of the music that I want to make, and the vibes that I'm on, and the vibes that I'm feeling, and so that took a minute, because for a long time during my the earlier part of my music career, I was making whatever was going on at the time, and I was coming into the understanding of the power that I have to put out messages and music, and podcasts to enlighten people, to it's time to go have fun again. That's another thing. This generation, they haven't had their fun era of music. Like,
Right.
everything's been serious, killing, and
And that drill stuff.
yeah, they don't know we had a period where, even if it was ATL snap music, or
We
if
was
it
buck
was
dancing and
the
all of that.
Soldier Boy era, all of this was, we had a lot of fun in between the development and the progress of where everything went. We kicked it, and I don't see that period in what they've been doing, where you know people are having fun, and they're getting hyped up about certain types of events that are geared toward having fun, and the music, and the clothes that go with it. I do see the fashion trend, and I see all of that, but I don't see a period where it's not about shooting and who gonna kill who and who got a 223 and a switch and that is part. Let me say this from since the beginning of time, even in the Roman days, that people went to plays that dramatized violence. Oh, don't get me twisted. Don't I don't want it, I want everybody to get me twisted there, but um, and movies, and we enjoy movies that have a villain and the shooting and all of that stuff right there. But black culture has to be conscious enough to know that this is entertainment, and we're also gonna have a part where we go have fun, and we gonna dance, and we go, you know, talk about how good these women look, and we're gonna have all of that type of content going on at the same time. I think they because so much was pushed on us from a radio standpoint and the visuals, because the record labels, the Jews who were controlling all of this, they wanted to put all of that music up front, the killing and all of that, uh, for the destruction of the black youth and to guide us down certain streets so that we
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't yeah so that we wouldn't take notice of what we should be doing, some of the things that we should be focusing on. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to go too far into it, but at the end of the day, um, the bonds, and I'm not talking about a bond when you get out of jail, not like making a bail bond, but um, the there are bonds being written for each prisoner in jail. Let's say someone gets a 50-year sentence, and uh, the jail is being paid per day for that inmate. Well, since we know for a fact you're going to be here 50 years, we can write a bond on the money that we're going to get for you. We haven't received it yet, but we can write a bond, and those bonds are ultimately what back mortgages. They're called mortgage backed securities. And so this is a one big loop as we play these songs and pump this into your head 24/7, and a portion of you go to jail for a long time. We also own the stock and the bonds uh, involved with the prison system. And so they really had them a whole little uh, machine. It's turning you into a criminal, then turning you into an inmate in prison, and ultimately making them money. So
Mm-hmm.
this was actually deeper than what we understood in the beginning. And
But you
so,
know what? I was listening to you say we need some music, some dance music back. I don't know why. I just can't get this out of my head. I still want to see you and Drama Boy work together. I think y'all could do something big.
Drama Boy is a good friend of mine. I just think that people drift apart, and let me also say this: when you get out of Memphis and that area does keep you grounded to a certain degree. The part is we don't want to be grounded forever. You understand what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so um, that part of it, you have to stay in touch with your people, and you have to stay locked in, and you have to keep your feet, on the ground with good people. And so sometimes that really becomes tough because you're meeting so many people, and you really have to make a conscious effort to stay locked in with who you want to stay locked in with. I think that's the key part of that.
Okay.
But we're making music now to empower. We're making people music that's fun, that's women and positive, positive vibes, you know.
And put some drums in them beats. That because the vibration of the music has to be raised. Like it's so low vibrational now. When you hear some of this music, especially some of this rap, it depresses you. It makes you want to do evil stuff. We need
Yeah,
to
that's
raise the
not what's
vibration
supposed
up
to be.
again.
That's not what's supposed to be going on. You know, Soldier Boy, for example, D4L. You know, that wasn't music that made you wanna. You know, we really were having fun. We were really looking forward to going out. We were looking forward to dancing when we got out, and it was a completely different vibe. It wasn't standing up in the corner with my clique, letting them guys over there know that we brought the guns tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't our
Hmm.
party vibe. I don't know where they got that shit from. That's lame to me. You know what I'm saying? Because we came here to have fun. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's what I got to say about that. Give me just a break for a minute. I'm gonna adjust this microphone, and you say a few words to the audience as well.
Okay. You all, we got Memphis's own producer and rapper, Mr. N. Y'all know he had the hit Walking Like a Dog. As a matter of fact, he probably should have trademarked that if he hadn't, because people still say that now. I think that came from that song, I'll Walk You Like a Dog. He needs to put that on y'all know I believe in trademarking and putting stuff on t-shirts. It's funny because when he was talking about Pooh Shiesty, the thing about the Pooh Shiesty mask, I think Pooh Shiesty could have capitalized off of that if he had the right people around him and made that into a multi-million dollar business and made it like he could have turned it from something dark into something almost like fashion or something like that, because instead of going and holding Gucci hostage, he could have been getting the money up for the lawyers by when he did his shows, selling those Pooh Shiesty masks with his autograph on them. Y'all know I've been saying that. He and all colors, pink, um, black, just all colors. Okay, he could have really be had the right people around him. He could have really got creative with that. Sold them masks for $50 a man. Sold them for $50 a piece. You know, while he's signing out, being personable with the people, they would have paid it.
And I really think that they missed $3 to $5 million, and that ain't even, I'm not even joking about that. I really think they missed $3 million right there. I don't know who was working this guy's stuff, or I mean, I just don't know how they missed. I just don't understand how they missed that money right there. But it just goes to show that it's who you have around, and you can think you know it all, but um, you can miss some key stuff in the some key things in the process. And I was really really drawn back by that because well, number one, Nike basically started leaning to copy it. The
Sure
whole,
did.
the whole Nike Tech vibe, um, started phasing in, and that mask was just, it wasn't there before him. It wasn't a trend before him, so we had to be really really honest. And then the streets gave it, um, the streets gave it the shiesty branding, and
Hmm.
that's very hard to do, to just get people to, or to get that organic branding on something like that. So I was really really disappointed that they didn't take advantage of that. And then it came down to something like what it came down to.
So let me ask you something as it relates to that situation with Pooh Shiesty, because we've been seeing it's been all over the media, and I gotta say a lot of people saying I'm a wimp because I really do want to. I don't want to see him get life. I feel like he has not had the right guidance, and it pissed me off even more that his dad was there with him and helped him to jump off of that cliff. But I want to ask what do you think about that situation?
Um, 1 second here. Hold on. What part of the situation? Overall, you mean?
Overall, do you believe that Pooh Shiesty? Well, let me be specific because I got a few questions with that. What do you think about the situation between him and Gucci? Do you think that it was necessary, or do you think Pooh Shiesty was set up? Like, do you think he was manipulated and set up? What do you think about that?
It's a very tough, you know, trying to break all that apart. But what we do have to look at is the facts. And like I said, that we said in the last interview, they recorded the Glorilla song right before that, and apparently they got it cleared, and so they got what they wanted out the deal.
Who is they?
I mean, got it, and he got what he wanted out the deal, and then immediately afterward, he proceeds to go do that. So, I mean, I guess this was what was on their mind. That was on what was on their mind, and you know, it's just bad, advice and bad leadership on a lot of people's parts, and I just don't. It wasn't the smartest brain with all of that.
Right.
You
I
know,
agree.
God, obviously been in the business for some time, and he knows, you know, a lot more, and he also knows Gucci's, personality, how he moved as a business person. They got the song clear, and then this guy's gone to federal prison. I don't think that, um, Gucci was never going to let him out of the contract.
God knew that.
Had to, and that part I will rest on. I will put my I believe that he knew that, hey, he put so much into this guy. They got an album out. He's been building them. He's not finna let him out of this contract. And so, I do think Gotti was somewhat aware of the plan, and I believe Pooh Shiesty and them thought that we can free ourselves and get this money, if we can get out of this situation. And I think they were sadly mistaken. Number one, on just how business works. Just straight across the board on how business works, the ability to, wiggle out that contract and in that way, and to do all that in that way, and
But Gotti had the lawyers around him. Why didn't he sit Pooh down with a lawyer and they start negotiating? He knew how to get him out that contract.
well, number one, lawyers and all of this stuff that people are saying online, you have to understand that just because you go get lawyers and you want out, that doesn't mean you're getting out.
Right. But that's the
Yeah,
first that's
you
the
can
first
now
step.
listen. I can't hold you like that, but I can name my price.
Right.
Yes, because now we have to say what all of this is worth. First of all, what I've spent, but then we also have to look at what it's now worth, because I own it, I control it, I pay to be in charge of it and the development of it. And if I pass it along, I'm speaking about the contract. I'm speaking about the name itself, Pooh Shiesty, as it pertains to recording musical recordings. I'm talking about the likeness, your visual, your face, your pictures that's being used in terms of marketing. This all belongs to me. I control all of this. Now I don't control a human being, because I'm not saying, I own a human being, but the brand, the name, the likeness, the ability to take this and sell music with it, I own this, and nothing's gonna change that unless I sell it or it exchanges hands in terms of ownership. And if I don't want to do that, it's not going to happen. That's just the bottom line. Now, if I want to sell, you also have no control over my price that I want to sell the contract or release you from the contract. This is a price that I said. This is what I think it's worth. Now, a record label can come give me that money. You can come give me that money. Um, the Warner Brothers, who we currently have a deal with, can say, "Well, Gucci, we want you out the way because we don't think it's gonna work because Pooh Shiesty got a problem with it." But you're still gonna have to pay me. And I can still ultimately say, no, this hasn't gotten to where I want to get it to yet. I saw it going here and it's not there yet. So right now, I don't want to sell. And everyone listening, especially young people, need to understand that when you sign this contract, this is what this entails. This is what this means. You can't, it's so typical of the type of, the young people today to think that I can slide out of something or I can finesse my way through something, but this is the real world. And this is why we don't back up a lot of that slime your partner out and that sliding and finessing. This is why that shit is really no substance. Because when it comes down to the real world and real contracts and real business, that will not go. It will not fly. It never has. It never will. And if you still think that you can force your way out of a legal binding agreement using some other means, you will be exactly where Pooh Shiesty is now. In
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah.
This is the rules. As 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 much sauce you got, as much finessing you can do, you will end up in jail. There is no way out of a legal binding agreement where two people have agreed and there's signatures and there's contracts that stipulate. See, you can't, you're not high right now. You can't be high doing this. See, you can't be unfocused and full of shit and popping shit and finessing and slide. See, this don't go with it. That ain't what this is. This real life, this real hardcore business. People put money in, put efforts in. This is not some cartoon ass version of the rap game and some Instagram social media version. This is attorneys, this is lawyers, and if you get out of character and do some stupid shit, this is you in a jail cell. And that's what
Mhm.
everyone needs to hear and needs to understand. Now, you can negotiate. You can get attorneys to create leverage for you. You can create leverage for yourself. You can construct a buyout. See, Gotti got on the radio and told everybody, well, I bought myself out of, and that was misleading. That was misleading. See, the more
So
you
what
being,
actually happened with that, Ann?
yeah, the
Tell us.
more you being miseducated, the more you being misled. Because what's actually happening is one label is paying off your former label and the debt is being passed to the new label.
Wow.
So this is like refinancing your home.
Mm.
You didn't pay off your home. You didn't pay off the debt. It was transferred.
Wow.
And so you got a better situation
So
when
who
you
did
when
who
you
was it transferred to?
well, the first one, J Records bought out TVT because TVT was going into bankruptcy, and so they bought the contract. And so what they paid for it, the debt was then transferred. So now you look like you got a new deal and you signed to a new record label, but you still in debt. I mean, you still don't own the house. You know what I'm saying? You refinance your record deal, basically. You got better terms, you know,
Wow.
got a better situation.
But you still in a, basically still, you just got a new owner, basically.
You got a new owner, and hopefully that's a better situation. Yeah.
Mr. N, I gotta ask you this, they because I'm interested in this too. My audience asked me to ask you this: who owns CMG?
Well, first of all, there is no CMG. And this like I said, this is madness, man. This is, y'all gotta snap out of this shit, man. I said a bunch of stuff on that last podcast, and a bunch of it actually happened, and I wasn't trying to like predict what was gonna happen, but I'm really trying to give the people who do decide, hey, I'm gonna go listen to Real Talk with Term, I'm gonna go listen to what they're talking about. I'm really trying to get those people the correct information. You feel me? And so
Right.
there is no CMG. When have you seen Black Youngster take a picture with Mozzie?
It's been
When have you seen
years.
when have you seen Glorilla with ESTG? When have you seen everybody together? When have you heard a song with a posse song? Remember, 3 6 Mafia used to do the song with everybody on there. You might be in this part of the group, or Hypnotized Camp Posse, or you might be Cheddar Club Up Thugs or whatever. But everybody came together for like one or two songs, or at least they was talking on, one or two songs. Same thing with No Limit. Same thing with Cash Money. So this is over. This is over. He has an artist signed through Rock Nation. There is no CMG, and there's just who are they? I'll wait for everyone out there to respond, but who are they?
Well, you got to break it down to us. Let me ask you this.
Well, let's break
So,
down this Zillionaire Doe show in Memphis, Tennessee, where no one showed up. We can
right.
break a lot of shit down, but we got to get to reality. There is no CMG. That's the big secret. And I told Stan, a couple of people were asking me questions. I was like, bro, what? Who are they? Who are they? Where are they?
Mm-hmm.
This is now
So
the
are you
brand.
saying basically somebody else owns the label?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this is not a brand as it once was. I mean, Rockefeller is still a company on paper, but what the hell that mean? You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Rockefeller Records, I mean, it's still a company on paper, but have Memphis Bleak and Jay-Z done a song recently? Beanie Siegel, is he got a show or something going on? Or got a song with Jay-Z? Like, that's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's over. That time period is gone. That's what I'm saying.
And you there? You went out. You back now though. I hear you
Okay,
now.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So basically, it's just something that's on paper. That's it.
At this point, and the songs are still owned by Gotti or whoever he assigned them to, because assigning is a big business in itself. Assignment, and so that's a
Tell me
different.
what
That's a different
assigning
thing.
means.
Well,
Tell me how
basically
does that
means
work?
I'm going to give you these 25 songs. They make a certain amount of money per year, and I'm going to assign the royalties to you. And for that, you're going to write me a big check right now,
Oh,
basically.
oh,
So
that's what's going on.
there's a whole loan, lending, and banking business behind the scenes. So this is way deeper than just getting on a screen and record. Like this is way deeper than all that. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think this is what happened to Youngster, the reason he was so hurt?
Yeah, like you know, when when someone just basically swindles you out of a large sum of money, and you thought that it would probably be better than that, or you that person would do you better than that, then it's like you want everything to be cool, but it's like it's that's too much. That's a life changing amount of money. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so what I gotta ask you this. I got to. You don't have to answer. How much? Because Youngster was has started having seemed like breakdowns and flipping out when he said, "I know I've been blackballed. God got me." The like he really about how much
Well,
money
Rock
was.
Nation can blackball you. That's not far fetched.
But why would Rock Nation want to blackball Youngster though? He
Well, if
was
you don't
guiding
want to,
loyal.
if you don't want to sign, if you don't want to give us control, you know, you heard stories where people told people in Hollywood, you know, if you don't do this, you'll never work again in this town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of thing right there. That's real.
Mm.
That's real. And how do they know that? Because the people who call all of the shots and who give out the money, because where are these budgets coming from? Where are the budgets coming from? Who is those people? Listen, the names that are signed at the bottom of these contracts, like chief officer, CEO, vice president, these are not people that you ever heard of, and these are not African American people. These are Jewish people. Let me just be straight with you. That's
Mm.
the name at the bottom of the agreement who had to sign off before the money got passed. They It's a terrible deal.
So now I knew that this was not real, but maybe they'll believe it if you could explain it a little bit more. Now we saw I was in the advertisement business, so I know people will they set up illusions. Gotti was on the $100 million um what was it called, the magazine, or he did the
Forbes.
interview or whatever.
Forbes.
Yeah,
Forbes.
stores. Now they pay for to be on stuff like that. Number one, and number two, Gotti says that he got $100 million deal with Interscope. Now, if he gets $100 million deal with Interscope, explain to us what that means.
Well, first of all, Miami Mike was in Forbes magazine.
Who is that?
He's from Memphis, and he was Soldier Boy's manager, and he was I Heart Memphis manager, and he had a big write up in Forbes magazine. So anybody can get in Forbes magazine. That's number one. Number two, um, how they assess your wealth, including investments. And Kanye went into this, so y'all don't have to take my word for it. But Kanye went into how Forbes assesses your wealth and your investments, and how they put you on the list and how they take you off the list. But with Rock Nation, Jay-Z has established a relationship, and Rock Nation has established a relationship where um, they can make it go the way they want it to go. It's PR. You know, I don't doubt that he has made certain investments, and um, you know, ain't no that a label is not giving $100 million up front. That's number one. Um, so this is very unclear on what all of that verbiage really means. He did not get the deal with Interscope until Dolph died. That wasn't solidified and locked in, and um, the Paper Route Illuminati, which was Dolph's album that was introducing his entire squad, that had people attention a lot more. That like people were really interested in how that was gonna go. It was a hard ass single off of there, and that was serious right there. That was a serious point, because Gotti was trying to introduce an entire team as well, and um, it seemed like Dolph kind of beat him to the punch, and it seemed like we was more interested in the paper route Illuminati roll out. You know what I'm saying?
Now
I
you
mean,
say
it
that
just
he didn't get all them deals until Dolph died. Do you think that that's coincidental?
I don't think it's coincidental. I mean, just going by the facts, uh, Dolph, in his own words, said he had a meeting with Rock Nation and Jay-Z, and uh, Jay-Z didn't put that fire out. That just stands a different way with me. You got two young black men who are multimillionaires, and they're beefing, and one of them is under Rock Nation, but the other one I'm now sitting down talking to, and he couldn't find a middle ground, or he couldn't try to, I mean, not that it was necessarily his responsibility, but you take on so much being the OG of the culture and on a positive wavelength, and to see Pac and Biggie's demise, and then to have a beef with Nas, and it go like the right way with marketing and promotion, and nobody gets hurt. Y'all still friends. And then we had the Kendrick and Drake here recently, and nobody, it was a lot of rumors and stuff, but nobody got hurt or nothing like that. It was really just competition. And so a lot of experience on his side to not say, hey man, how can we just package this up and sell this? Like, people think y'all got something going on, but y'all ain't really got to be into it. Y'all really could use this to get some money. How can we package this up and sell tickets to this, or how can sell more music or sell more product by using this, and everybody stay cool? You know, it seems like he is supposed to be that smart and supposed to be that savvy. What people care about and what people give their time and effort to, though, sometimes is different than what they know and understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Um, Hernandez Govan has been back in the news, and listen, you said something that will probably people probably get chills about. The last time you was here when you spoke about people go to jail for what they
Got
get
away with.
away with. Yeah.
Yeah. You go to jail. Let me say it again for everybody out there listening. A lot of times, if you don't change your life after you've made a mistake, you'll end up in jail for the shit you got away with. And this is a classic case. And I said that on your show, hoping that he would hear that and that he would take something from that. That, you know, I think everybody knew when he walked out of that courtroom that, if these people get you again on anything, man, they're gonna hang you. Because you're lucky, and God saw fit for you to walk out of there. And so um this is a classic case of that. That you can think you got away with something, but if you don't change your life when God gives you that break, when God spares you, you'll end up in jail for what you thought you got away with. And that should be a lesson to everybody. Like I said, all of this rhetoric, all of this talk, and all this cap, it sound good. But that steel toilet and that steel sink, a bad motherfucker, dog. Excuse my language. Excuse my language. But it's not no joke. It ain't no game. So, um, he has managed, and look how small this situation was in comparison. Look how small. See slippers go. See slipping. The slippers count. You see, and because he didn't change his lifestyle, he didn't change who he was and how he moved and his attitude toward everything, his outlook toward everything. That's why the juror got up there and said, "Well, I knew this would probably happen. I could see." Yeah, because you could see that this person does isn't at the point or doesn't have the ability to make the necessary changes. See, so many people, um, they're capable of so many things, but they're not capable of making the necessary changes it will take for them to be successful. And so that's the point. That's the exact part that you're going to get caught at because you have to change. And that's what God is asking of you. That's why he gave you a second chance. That's why he's sparing you so that you have the opportunity to say, "Hey, you know what? That was a close call. Um, when I was in that situation, the only person that heard me was the man upstairs, and so I'm gonna take this opportunity and I'm gonna make a change. I'm gonna create change." And so, if you don't really have that attitude, um, you're gonna come up against another situation that's gonna test and try you again. And remember, you're still the same person. You're going off about a little bit of money, about 500 or so dollars, and you just said a bunch of stuff and typed a bunch of stuff, and then you forgot. Oh, I'm the guy on YouTube that everybody's trying to take a shot at. So they're gonna use this to go ahead and slam you against the pavement, and that's what happened.
Well, I don't know if you heard, like before he was arrested, I was looking at he was breaking the internet with some of his interviews. It seemed like each and every time he did an interview, he started to say a little bit more and a little bit more. In the last interview, okay, that he did with a vlogger, he says that he knew who killed Big Jook, and he says that CEO Teasy was killed by friends. It seems to me that he was, I mean, you he I'm sure he
It
knew.
seems to me he's lying. But because that's the best reference people have, then you're going to go with it. Because you feel like, well, he can speak on it better than anybody because he was in this situation. But what I would do and what anybody would do in this situation is tell a story that would deflect everything off of me.
What you explains it. You know I'm a little slow.
Because listen, why is Big Jook dead? Why did somebody kill Big Jook? Why?
I
Have we
don't
answered
know.
that? It's not because I mean he stayed alive that long.
Right.
Jook done been in so much shit in the streets since we was in high school. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. It's been so much that's been went on that he didn't made it through, survived through, or you know. But there was something hanging in the balance in this situation, and it involved people's freedom. And so this where push came to shove, where something had to be done, and that largely involves Govan. Now I'm not gonna get into all of that because as you know from my past interviews, I don't do that. But if Juke would have been alive, some a lot more people would have went to jail. Let me just say that, and that's factual.
You think Govan would have been one of them?
I damn sure believe that.
So, well, why would he even bring it up?
Because now I can use these things to manipulate different people and to move stuff around the way I want to move it around. And he had time to think about it. See, that's why it took a while. You said it seemed like he just kept saying more, and no, he's not revealing more. He's coming up with more shit. He's coming up with new ways to present shit. You see what I'm saying? It ain't it ain't no you don't need us to figure this out. You don't need me to get on here and tell you what this was going on, and so that's why so and so. No, you don't need that. You can look at the facts and see if you were in that situation or somebody you knew was in that situation, what exactly happened with just the facts. Just the facts. You don't need nobody else. And so the fact was you were down there 10 months without a bond because someone implicated you. That's not nothing I think. That's something we know. And we know he was stopped in the airport in question. And we know you was picked up immediately afterward. Not only picked up immediately afterward, but remember, MPD had been to his house 2 or 3 times and left. But after they interviewed you, we got you. I mean, you don't need me to get on here and tell you none of this. You see what I'm saying? Because this is just out in the street. This is in police reports. Plenty of bloggers have went over this. You don't need me to do that. You were going to jail for life, most likely, or 100 years, just like Justin Johnson. You know, and so that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me say this, and this is I'm gonna tell you the way I just interpreted this, and you don't have to. You don't have
Well,
to
let
say
me add this before you put your interpretation.
okay.
Immediately after his brother passes, God makes the statement: we don't break, we don't fold." What does that mean? Was he gonna
Um,
fold? Had he folded? Did he fold?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So go ahead with
He said we don't break, we don't fold, we
when
don't tell.
the concert was in Detroit, and it was right after Jughead died, and
Right,
he walked to the front of the stage, and he said, "We don't break and we don't fold,
and we never tell.
and we never tell."
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it made a lot of
sound
people
like to
feel
me
like he
somebody
knew.
told. Let's just be real. Somebody told something, right? Somebody told. Who is he referring to that told? And to seem like, oh, well, me and Juke was still cool, and I know he would have wanted me to. Well, who was Juke talking about? They'd rather snake you than face you. What? So you wait a minute. Who was Juke talking about? They'd rather snake you than face you. Who was he talking about?
It had to have been somebody in the inner circle because he says, I think interpreted he did told them, he said, watch your back to stay alive. That I kind of interpreted that as a threat, letting them know I'm gonna get you.
He was being he was shot at prior to the funeral, days before. They shot they shot the cop days before. So they were already trying to get him, and he had been to town in about 9 or 10 months.
They shot him. They shot at him. Also, he was going into a restaurant. I do know that.
And
Like
so
they
and so they're making attempts on his life, and then they get him at the repast, and I mean, what part of this is well, the misdirection that Govan's giving in the interviews is like I told you, it's meant to deflect.
Mm-hmm.
And you, if you were in that situation, or one of us was in that situation, you would possibly do that too. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm just saying that's in a large part what happened.
So my interpretation of this is allegedly maybe Govan was involved in this. Could it be he was involved in this and he ran to some people and said Juk told on me, and the people, because of their loyalty to Govan, went and took Juk out, and allegedly now Govan is getting on vlogs that maybe he's falling out with the people that did this,
Maybe
and he's
so.
getting
Maybe
on
so.
vlogs threatening to tell on them.
Sounds pretty goddamn close to what I thought might be going on. So, you you did really work for the MPD office. Yeah, so that's not, and I'm saying, listen, that doesn't take a lot to figure that out, man. Come on, man. Don't try to get up here. Oh, Ian was on Real Talk with Timber last night, and he said, "No, no, you already knew all this shit. Don't make it. It was already. This is pretty clear, right?"
So I guess my logic would be, well, if you're involved in some, you don't even have to bring it up.
Well, you benefited from Jill being killed. Let's just be real. However it happened, if he had some other thing going on, or this was direct, whatever, you benefited because we just concluded that you were going to jail for the rest of your life. If he had you know,
Whoever it was, and rest in peace to Juk. I hate that happened.
rest in peace, the big dog, man. He
Listen,
had a lot of great
whoever these folks
qualities.
was, this wasn't their first time doing it. So why would he want to dangle telling these some true killers? Why would he want to ever dangle that I'm gonna tell on you?
The word on the street is he can't go into general population at no FCI, at no federal facility in this country. That's what the word is. And if he gets the maximum 48 months, it will be the most dangerous 48 months he ever of his life. I can guarantee you that.
Because of the
And
interviews.
and you know, that was a close call on World Star there, man. That was a close call because do you think Memphis niggas fight? Is that what y'all believe? Don't come down here thinking you finna fight no Memphis nigga. That ain't how that he just probably wasn't armed. He probably just didn't have a pistol on him. But for the outsiders who not from Memphis, do not think you're gonna come down here and fist fight no Memphis nigga. Don't believe that. That was a close call. And I'm glad it was just that a close call. I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad the guy on the other side that, he kept it real, you know, real G. He kept it real G. We gonna throw these hands and because you ain't even worth it. And that's what that was. He got a lot of respect from a lot of people for that. You know what I'm saying? We gonna throw hands and cause you ain't worth me getting into the system and getting no case and getting no charge and who knows what else you got going on. And so that was he kept it G and a lot of respect for that right there. But it was not associated with the young Dolph situation. It wasn't because he messed with Dolph. That wasn't the case. That conflict happened because the people who go in on these interviews talking about, you know, somebody who fucked with them, they caught Govan and in a place where they didn't expect to see him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was about. And that's why they didn't have a gun on him, because they just ran into him. Nobody know where he gonna be at. He ain't out like that, contrary to popular belief. You will see him, but he ain't. Oh, I'm showing up at the pop up on Thursday. They having a big thing. Nah, he ain't doing that now.
Well, he also he also said that CEO Teasy, and you see him and CEO Teasy used to party all the time. CEO Teasy was a truly mafia guy. He also said CEO Teasy wasn't killed by no ops. His own people killed him. His own gang people or
Yeah,
friends killed him.
right. And in those 10 months that Govan was downtown, what he realized and what he found out is this person has given a statement on me. This person is giving a statement on me. This person has given a statement, and all of these people are cooperating. That broke his heart. That broke his heart. You want to know why? Because he never, and I said this before, he never would have did that to them. He's a real criminal. He really believes in the honor and criminal life and all. I'm just keeping it real with you. But that's not the world we live in. And when it comes down to people giving up their lifestyle and giving up their freedom, we already know what they're gonna do. But in those 10 months, he learned that this person has given a statement, that person has given a statement, and all of these people were fine. They were alive. They were with their family. They were seeing their kids. They were living until he got released. And we don't have to fill in the blank about all that either.
I listen. I hear what you're saying. I guess for me, like oftentimes when people are involved in stuff, they just don't get on national because these vlogs are national. Anybody can look up. You don't even mention. You stay as far away from whatever you may have had your fingers in. You stay as far away from that. You don't let that touch you.
Right. Well, um, he's not experienced in the entertainment side, and that's why. See, when I was young, and I'm so glad I had to learn. I got to learn this lesson while I was young. Um, I had to balance being Mr. N and the guy who sings all these songs with real life, everyday life, the hood, me being in Memphis and all of that. I had to balance these two. And I knew that, you didn't go too far on this side because your dream or what you really wanted to do or you wanted to do business, you wanted to make money, you're not going to be around to even get the money, you know? Because you've gotten too involved in this, you've taken this personal, you think you got some real beef with somebody who really don't even have a reason to have beef with you. They just hating or they jealousy. I went through a lot of that as a young person. You know, some of these people still never purchased a home, bought a house. It took them 15, 20 years later to do some of the things that I did at that young age. And so I had a lot of pressure and a lot of people that a lot of congratulators now. Shout out to all the players and the congratulators in Memphis. But a lot of detractors, a lot of people that jealous and just didn't like the fact it was me. And so I had to balance that. I had to stay away from certain situations and not put myself in situations. And so over time, I learned how to do both. I learned how to balance everything out and still handle my business and do this and do that, get things accomplished, and to scale my brand up a little bit. And not get sucked in by some sucker shit. Really, that's really what it was. And some dispute with some girl some girl being able to say, "Oh, well, hey, after his concert, we went up in the hotel and he did that." No, I didn't. I knew not by 23, 24, 25. I knew not to put myself in that situation. I had home life at that point, and all of that. But I didn't put myself in those situations.
Let me ask you something,
But
Miss.
but let me say this right here. But
Okay.
with him learning this at this age, where you can't just go off and say stuff and threaten people's life, and like everybody knows you. Like you've become this character or this brand or this person. Like you can't do that no more. See, I I learned that a long time ago. But seeing Onan, seeing Govan learn this at this late time and then crash out, it's tough to watch. It is. And that's what Black youngsters trying to keep from doing. He's trying to stay his person, his character, his brand, and he's trying to keep that going or let that exist some type of way without completely crashing out about what he's upset about. You see what I'm saying? And so sometimes that takes you to withdraw yourself and to really think about what's going on and what my next move is, because you can so easily end it all or crash it all out. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Has he had? Do you think he's had conversations with Gotti about his disgruntledness? Because it seemed
I
like
don't
Gotti
think
has
I don't
totally.
think God I
Now
don't think
Gotti,
God wants
Gotti
to
is a fan of the show, right?
I
So
don't think he wants to talk to Govan.
no,
I
I'm
don't think
talking
he
about Black Youngster and Yo Gotti.
well, God is just not giving no money back. It's just like, you know, Zelle. When you send it's just like Zelle. Ain't no money coming back. It's gone. You feel what I'm saying? So we can see past that and we can get some more money together, fine. But that ain't going in reverse. And that's just the way it go. And I'm gonna tell you something else. God had never chose to do business with me like that. I remember when he signed All Star and he set up the Cash Money situation. And I was really looking upside his head, like, wait a minute, what's going on? But we would fall out if he did some shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like we really would goddamn be, at that point anyway. Like all my folks from North Memphis, Fraser, and we had a dispute like this when we were young, to be honest with you. But I ain't gonna get into all that. But it was very, very early. But like with All Star and the Cash Money and the other situations, I was like, well, wait a minute. But really, it was the fact that he wasn't gonna do his friends that dirty. He wasn't gonna do people he fuck with that dirty or had connections or he considered family or I'm just not gonna do no fucking business with you because you know the game, I know the game, and this is gonna be a snake move when I'm getting ready to pull. So we better not do no business. And that's wild. That's wild. But that's how he operated. We had one misunderstanding. We met in Ridgecrest, and it was 1,000 niggas outside that day, and we talked about it and it was all good and everybody was they smoked and got drunk and barbecued and all this old shit and it was all good and everybody felt good and we never fell out again after that.
Mm.
Yep, that's true.
Um.
Facts.
So let go Van. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about. He said a little bit more now. He said he never knew Gotti, never met Gotti, never had a conversation with Gotti. But then he turned around and said Gotti needs to have. If he was Gotti, he would have had a conversation with him.
I wish I could tell you the real history. I wish I could, and someday I might be able to. But mm, 2003, 2004. That's how long he been knowing God.
How long you been knowing got it, or you and Go Van?
2003, 2004, me and Gotti was riding in the car, and he called for the chopper. He called Juke for the chopper. He had some shit going on, and I was like, "Who's that?" He was like, "Let's go, Van." Like, quit. Like, yeah, he trying to get the chopper. He like, "Man, I told you these niggas don't be having these guns, man." Da 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 da. I'm like, "For real?" He was like, "Yeah, I told you." He like, "Yeah, Juke gonna give it to him." So we ain't have to stop what we was doing. Juke took it to him. But that was 2003,
He
2004.
said Juke. So God said Juke gonna get Go Van the gun.
This was 2003, 2004.
Oh my god! Oh my god! My brain. It took
Yeah, I
my
know.
brain.
And that's why I don't, I leave them to say what they want to say. You notice I don't come in like trying to chop people down and correct people. I just don't want to mislead the young people, because if they don't get the real understanding, the real story, then they start thinking all this shit is sweet and it's bubble gum, and that ain't really what's going on. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we were riding, and he called, he had something going on, and he called. I had an SK, God had an AK. And so, and then I had a pistol, and we always roll with pistols. And but we were riding in the car. He called saying he needed the chopper. Like, who was that? He was like, that was Goldman. And I was like, I ain't even know y'all, just, you know what I'm saying? And I guess he called Juke, and Juke told him, call got it, it's chopper. You feel what I'm saying? So uh they been, yeah, he been around for, they've been in the mix for a long time.
Well,
And I just,
why you think he says that he never met Gotti?
well, I like I told you, I'm not gonna get into, I am not gonna get into trying to figure out why he deflecting stuff and why he going this route about it, because he just got a little too messy about how he was trying to explain all of this with his version of a lie, basically. And so I didn't call you and say, "Hey, I just heard he said so and so, he lying, man. I want to get on your," I don't need to do all that. I'm already what I am. I'm already I'm doing what I want to do. I'm already stamped, and can't nobody take it. And that's because I did a lot of good, and I helped a lot of people, not because I'm the biggest gangster or I'm a gangster or none of that shit. When I had the opportunity to help people, I did. When I had the opportunity to pull people out of a bad situation or uplift them, I did. And that was God gave me that platform many times, and I tried to deliver as many times as I could, and people appreciated that. They respected that, you know. And when I was wrong, which I have been, I tried to fix it, and I was never too big to say I was wrong. I was never too big to apologize. So,
Okay. Well, let's. So now that Govan is back in jail, of course, I believe.
that
Now me and
man
you had
there,
this
bro.
conversation. I got so
God
tickled.
damn.
I said I believe that Govan is somehow he's gonna pull a rabbit out of his hat and get
No,
out. I got tickled. You said he ain't got no rabbits to pull out
no,
his hat.
no, that's not gonna happen. I mean, God is in control, but I'm just telling you, that's not on the menu. That's not going. That's not gonna happen. That's very far from happening, because his background demands it. That you know he's gonna have a lot stacked against him in a hearing that's requesting he get a bond or freedom. Let's use Pooh Shiesty for example. Everybody knew what they was talking about 3 4 weeks ago, a month ago. They don't got nothing on him, and they don't, and he'll be out. He gonna get out, and you know it's okay to wish upon a star, you know, but in reality, remember, all of this bullshit and all of this rhetoric online and all of this making up and sounding good and this rhyme with this and this sound like, but it's not reality. And these people just rolled out 65 pages on why they're not going to grant him any type of bond, which should not have even been asked in the first place, considering that the monitor was on his leg. They've uncovered a personal relationship with the young lady who allowed him to go out there. So she can potentially be charged. See, this is how the feds come back. They come back with a noose to hang you with, just for even tapping the door, for even acting like you think you want to be able to do something you're not supposed to do. They're going to further hang you. And this is not a game. You can lose your life and your freedom and everything playing with these people, thinking that you know something, that you're going to get away with something. You can lose your life. And that's what I want young people to know, that there is a stopping point. If your parents, if you didn't have a dad or you wasn't taught that there's a stopping point, then you will be shown that there is a stopping point and you will be stopped. You see what I'm saying? And so with Govan,
Mm-hmm.
it sound good, but your background, the fact that everyone knows you just got acquitted of a murder in the state court, the newspapers published that you said you're not safe, the National Guard won't be. What do you think? The federal prosecutors are reading this. The judge is reading these.
Yeah.
They've recovered the videos you threatened to post. They know that those videos really do exist. So we're going to let you out to do what? For what? You were out. You were already out on a murder that you possibly had something to do with. You got out. You were out. Now let you back out for what? Why do y'all want these people to be so forgiving and so lenient and so stupid when they're not? You're the one stupid for believing that you're gonna slide on some of this stuff. And we gonna be out here living our life, having a great time, and you believe that it was gonna go there. Don't bank on that. Don't do that. Don't think like that. Don't let your mind think. Correct yourself. For those out there that really thought that this was gonna go that way with this person, or this was gonna go, and you now seeing. And just imagine yourself in a cell and they come bring you that stack of paper stapled together called Discovery, and you start flipping those pages. You flipping those pages. And you seeing what's in this package, in this paper, and you seeing pictures and you reading, and you're not getting out. What part of that y'all not getting? How is this slipping past y'all? How y'all believe?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why people believe that Govan was gonna slip out. The people, and I'm just telling you what I've been
Because they
saying.
don't know anything about the federal system, and that's the difference between the state. This what the OGs and then the guys who've been through all this stuff trying to tell y'all that y'all not listening to. This is not the state. Listen, these people give you 150 years and forget about you. You won't be back in court. Like you're going to go on you about to go do 150 years. That's it. Never to be heard from again. Never to. It's over. This will happen.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why what I've been reading. I think people felt like he was gonna get out because he had already been dangling. He was gonna tell who he was gonna give up some people on some cold cases like Juke and Teasy and all of that.
That's not gonna work because you're you're going to jail on a cyberbullying, which oh my god, this is ridiculous. You're going to federal prison on a cyberbullying for $540. Okay, so the max on that is 5 years at 85%, which is 48 months, something like that. Every attorney that you hire, every real friend that you got is going to tell you it's no use in implicating yourself in something else that carries 10 times this amount of time. You might as well go do them 48 months. Go do them 48 months and bring your ass back up out of there. The attorneys are going to stop him and say, no, 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 no. You just going to have to do these 5 years, brother. Because how can you provide first-hand information and sign
But
an affidavit saying you have first-hand
well,
information?
now let's get to
You're breaking up on me.
because his high profile attorney says that I heard him say this on the interview that they're going to bring Manny Aurora in. Now, who is helping him pay for all these high price attorneys? That's what we want to know.
First of all, Manny Aurora would definitely advise him to do your 48 months. And you can't implicate yourself in anything. If you say you have firsthand information, that means you were there, you were part of it. You can't say that. You've got to wildly complicate your current situation. I'm talking about wildly complicated.
He said he was riding down Getwell when Juke was assassinated. He said
we would do better coming into court, Govan, telling the positive things that you've been a part of, to tell why you should get some leniency, to try to get some type of mercy from the judge. But negotiating with something that carries 50 years, 100 years, that's not everybody can just throw that's not how this goes. Once again, you're unfamiliar with this process, the legal strategy, and you're unfamiliar with the federal system. So that's not you can't get a ticket out of jail. They don't even you're an idiot if you try that.
How is he paying for all of these high price attorneys?
I cannot tell you that. I don't exactly know that, but okay. I'm sure he has some people that care about him, and and so that, but who knows? Who knows?
Because I'm just gonna say, I was looking at Justice for Dow, and he says somebody named Noose has been paying for it.
And this is another point that I want to make. I don't know who that person is, number one. Number two, what Justice for Dow as a blogger puts up on his page, I have nothing to do with. A lot of times I don't agree with it. But this particular person, I don't know who that person is, number one. And like I said, every thing that he puts up there I don't know about, or that I don't necessarily agree with. But it's not my job to tell him what to post or not post. As with Stan, I've never told Stan to take something down. Hey man, take something down. No, that's not what I do. I don't. That's not what I'm being uh, paid for or compensated for. If they hire me, that's not what I do. And so, um, I don't agree with, like I said, a lot of the stuff and a lot of the stories. Um, a lot of these people have done great things in the city. Let me say that also.
Right.
A lot of them have been uh, profound. Hot Rod, for instance, has been profound in my life in terms of my relationship with what I know about him, the things that I seen him do, and giving me his last when he was in a tough situation. And so, um,
Nose. Yeah, that's what
I think I've seen a lot of him do a lot of honorable things and a lot of great things that help a lot of people. And so, these blogs and this YouTube stuff is the opinion of the blogger and the perspective that the blogger has. But this is not my writing. This is not my producing. I don't produce these shows. I don't, But what I will advise them is that, hey, watch how you present this, because a lot of people love and respect this person. They think a lot of this person, and in some of those cases, this person has been profound in changing my life and directing me in a positive way. And so, I would advise them to be careful how they present these stories. But once again, it's not my job to try to restrict somebody from journalism. That's just not how this works. You know what I'm saying?
okay. They said Hot Rod paid for it. I don't know. I don't know who Hot Rod. What?
Hot Rod is a great guy, man. He's a
Somebody
great
just
guy.
said he day trades. He day
Yeah,
he
he's not into the criminal life or into any of that stuff there. And it's not just him. It's a whole group of them that's own legitimate businesses and deal with everyday people in Memphis and provide services like roofing and home repair, home improvement. So they're walking into people's homes, they're dealing with people, and it just a lot of times I don't think that's fair when someone's trying to change their life and then they're out here hand and foot doing business, good business with people, provide services. Some of them, and they're building good relationships. And you got to let people change. You do. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer in that. I'm just disappointed that Govan didn't make that level of change. Because everybody else in the circle did. Everybody else in the crew did. He's the last goddamn problem. He's the last of the. This was.
they
And
got all the. You think they want to advertise
who?
the black men you was just talking about?
Oh no, they don't want to be. A lot of these people don't. They don't care to be a part of any of this. Because they.
Well, most people advertise their businesses.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they have such big names. One of them is a home builder, and he and also does roofing. But he has such a big name. He was so smart to start building houses and to start doing projects like that, because everyone in Memphis know these guys had millions of dollars for years and years. And so when it came down to building them a $200,000, $300,000 house, they felt comfortable with the way that he handled the money, that the way that he did, completed the project, his level of excellence on the project. So these are talented guys, man. These guys got real business sense that goes beyond the street. And so like I said, I don't think that's fair when someone is, you know, making positive changes, and then at the same time helping people. We can't cut these type of guys down because we need as many good soldiers as we can get. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I tell you, um, Mr. N, let me ask you something. I gotta ask you this. Do you believe deep down inside, and I know you don't have any way of knowing, but just in your opinion, do you think that at this point now your Gotti has some regret about everything that transpired?
Maybe to some degree,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't look for this. If he was capable of having empathy, then I don't think a lot of this would never went on. You know, but I told you this is a fight between good and evil ultimately, and I think this is becoming more and more clear every every time we get on here. It's becoming more and more clear that it's good versus evil, and he got this is a bad spirit. I said the things that I said on the past interviews, and I meant them, and this is a very this is a bad spirit. You know, and this is not imaginary stuff. Let me also say that oh well, no, there's a such thing as spirits being on people and them doing that bad things, and um we see it all the time, and the battle between good and evil, even a lot of what the pastors are saying is actually true. you know it's actually
Mm-hmm.
true. This is spiritual warfare. And I became way more aware of this when I left Memphis. I thought we was just in a church town, and my mama just dragging me to church, and all these people saying all this stuff, and I ain't never seen no demons. You know, I ain't never seen no ghosts. You know, but they was right there next to me. Shit, I didn't know. You know, I was seeing them every day. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't that aware. But when I left the city, and I began to go other places and other cultures, I started to understand how they process and recognize evil spirits. And I'm like, wait a minute, I seen a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? So I've been through a lot of that. And it woke me up to, um, yeah, little devils on your shoulder. Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. But I really didn't process it. Like, I really didn't think that was, like I said, I heard the preacher preach, and I knew what was going on in the streets, and I knew what the Bible said in great part as a young person. And but I really wasn't putting the devil and evil spirits inside of people that I was interacting with or that was around in the city, and I really wasn't putting all that together like that. But that's really what was going on, and it's really what's going on now. You know, we also have the situation in Senatobia. I don't know at
Yeah.
what point you want to touch
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, but before we touch on that, I got to ask you something else about. I want to ask you two more things about the music industry.
Okay.
Okay, so I hear you say a lot. I know you and Gotti used to be pretty tight. We know about you all had a falling out. Do you care to break down where did the disconnect happen at?
The disconnect happened. I think the biggest disconnect happened at. It's funny because it happened at Gucci Mane photos. I mean Gucci Mane video shoot. And like I told you, I was just to my wits end because I had a brand new baby. I had a brand new baby girl, and I had saw what they were doing Like I saw how they were arranging things and blocking and like I called Pepper out, I called Devin out, I called Mike T out, I called a lot of these people out that the level of ass kissing, that's another thing I really didn't understand. But to get back on your question, um, me and Quit went to this video shoot. I told you this story. It was Gucci's video shoot, and so, but he called either Juke or somebody. They told him where the video shoot was, and I told Quit before he told me. I told him what was going on. I was like, man, this dude is just, he's just blocking and it's costing me a lot of money. Now I'm in a 3-story house in Alpharetta, Georgia at this point. So it ain't like, and I got the G-Wagon, I got the Bentley outside. So it ain't like I'm starving because I feel like this nigga blocking. So I guess Quick kind of took it like, this really not a big deal. And so we went down there, and I told you we were armed, and we got into a really intense conversation right there at that video shoot. And I knew, we both knew that, you know, but I was hoping that we could talk and I get something out of it other than it going too far. And I think I just saw his true colors that day. I just saw that you really weren't going to admit, number one, that you're you blocking. Because if I got the money and they won't take the money and they don't have a reason not to take the money, but they're riding with you on everything, and we know this is money driven. So if Devin price was 5,000 or 10,000 and Pepper was facilitating and I got the money and I know these people, then what's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that went on for a year and then the next year. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Now me and you, we supposed to be cool. We hanging. I'm writing shit for you. I'm producing shit for you. But when I get to this point, now it's structured like this where y'all just fagging off on me. So what's happening here? And then I finally narrowed it down. Like, it's you. It's you. So what so now I'm about to go directly, confront you about this and talk to you about this. And it was so long where I couldn't catch up with them, that I had to basically run up on them at Gucci shoe. You know what I'm saying? And like I told you, Nikki was there. And you know, I don't know if the shirt was showing the print of the gun in my back or if I didn't have my shirt down. But I told you she walked up on me and kind of like created this diversion. And I was like, I was pissed off because she like bombarded into the conversation with me and got it. And I was really getting to the part where I had gotten to the part that I was going to get to. And, you know, so I at that point, I just really saw him for what he was. And I was like, we're already in the public. I'm living very nicely. I'm blessed. And, um, I'm going to go. How far am I going to go with this? You feel what I'm saying? I would do better just saying I don't fuck with you no more and I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's kind of where we went to. But that's how it went.
Okay. And let me ask you this question. What can you break down the deals that they're putting these young people in? We got about 200 people up in here, and we have a lot of young artists to be in. What kind of deal? What are they doing in these deals?
It's known as a 360 deal. And the terms vary, the language can vary, but the main money, the masters was known as the masters. That's you're not getting that. That's when you sign that deal. Well, let me break this down this way because all that ain't even gonna matter. So let me break it down a different way because I think everybody heard that before, a 360 deal, and they get this, they're able to collect this, they're able to collect that. I think everybody heard that part of it. So let me break it down a different way. So the money you get up front, um, the money you get up front, you won't, you're in a high interest loan, basically.
So the money you get up front, you have to pay it back.
Yeah. So the money you get up front is that money along with the budget, which is what it will cost to do all of this, all becomes one number, and that is the debt that you're going into.
Oh
So,
wow.
right, and there's an expense sheet, okay, that details what we spent or what we're going to spend, including the advance that we gave you up front. Now, once this happens and you're in debt, um, you'll never get out of debt because they're controlling the accounting. So you can call a meeting and say, "Hey, man, I paid you off. We sold so many records that we back at zero." No, you're never going to be back at zero because they're in control of the accounting. And I learned this. What me and Gotti called a meeting to kind of go over the expense sheets with the CEO and the CFO. And we went over everything
It seemed like every time he get ready to tell something deep, his phone he go out. He totally went out. Mr. Ian, we can't hear you.
TV 22,000, radio 120 some thousand. Um, this and so we looking at all of these numbers on this sheet like, did this really happen? Did y'all really spend this amount of money? Like, but this is the expense sheet. This is what the money that they're saying we owe, and we sit at this long conference table, and everybody got the same information.
They messing with this live bad. This live was going smooth until he started getting into details, real deep details about stuff.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
They
now?
messing with the live.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the expense sheets and the accounting is the key. So so make sure we get it all in so everybody hears it. The accounting and the expense sheets on what you owe or what they're saying you owe is the key. And they'll keep moving the goalposts where you're not going to pay that off. You're not going to come to a zero mark. Where Because if you came to a zero mark, then the next album you're supposed to get in advance again. See, in the contract, it looks like you're going to get it advance each album. So you got 5 albums. So you're supposed to get 5 advances that are ahead of each album. But after the first advance, you'll go into debt. So you'll never receive an advance on the second album because you owe.
Oh.
That's about the most basic way I can put it. Now, let me tell you this. UMG has several sets of books. So the expense sheets and the books that they presented to us on, okay, you owe this much, are not the same, is not the same accounting books that they're filing their taxes with. So the accounting is very complex, it's multi-layered, and there's several sets of books. You won't win. However, you probably won't find yourself in this situation because they're no longer investing in artists like that. They don't need to. They're moving into a different model where they're just servicing all the independents. And that's why they're taking over distribution. They're controlling distribution. TuneCore. Um, what is the one that Steve Stout is over? United Masters. This is just Universal. TuneCore is Universal. CD Baby is owned by Universal. So they're moving into
God
that aspect.
see.
Say that again. Hello. Okay, say
Yeah,
that again.
somebody mad. They start that this live was going smooth. Somebody been messing with this live.
Well, sometimes you get a bad connection. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna move to a different space. Give me 2 minutes. Go ahead and talk to the audience for a second.
Okay. You all, if y'all got some questions for Mr. N, y'all make sure y'all put them in the chat. He's given us a load of stuff tonight. Listen, I had no I listen. When we have when he come on here, each and every time he come, he always drop some bombshells and a nice little way to give you something to think about. If y'all got some questions for Mr. N, it's a lot. It's 200 people up in here. So listen, whatever you want to ask him, okay? He's a vet in the game, okay? He's a vet in the game. He knows the sharky ways of the business. He knows all of that. And so he can explain a lot of stuff, okay? He can explain a lot of stuff. He just he'll be back up in a few minutes. They said ask him about money bags. Oh yes, I'm glad. Thank you, TB21. I hope he come back up. I definitely gotta ask him about that, as I had forgotten about that situation. Um, you all make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. We only have 70 likes. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button and support the channel. Okay, Mr. N, I'm glad you're back. Listen,
Okay.
Mr. N, they told me to ask you this. What do you think about that money bag situation?
Um, Depends on the paperwork that's involved.
With the young lady suing him and Rock Nation for $100 million, the ex-manager.
If she has some type of agreement that they've came to in the past, um, yeah, that's really going to happen. As wild as it may sound, and her personality and her lifestyle really has nothing to do with it. If they had an agreement, um, yeah, he's got a big problem on his hands.
Okay. They told me to ask you, what do you think about Straight Drop's appeal to the Supreme Court?
I don't think about it.
He said, so based on what you said, Mr. N, like how you broke down how the Sharky ways, and these young men, they come from, a lot of them, they don't know anything about business, so it's so easy to get over on them. It really is. It's so easy to do it as it relates to the books and them, you know never being designed to really pay the industry off. So with all of that being said, do you believe, just based on what you know, do you believe that young Dolph truly had the recipe for independence, and that intimidated a lot of people? I'm talking about even
I'm getting a lot of, yeah, you cutting out real bad on me.
more than
Can you hear me now?
Gotti.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. It sounded like you were cutting out on me. For that time period, for the moment, for that point, and also Ghazi was a big part of that. Ghazi saw where Dolph had put in a lot of grassroots hard work, and he could help him build on that. But it wasn't long before Dolph realized what the strategy was, and really didn't need Ghazi in a lot of ways, to be honest with you. And but for that time, um, it was him and Ghazi. That's really what was going on. And so Ghazi's background, you need to go and look at and see how Empire really formed and what Ghazi was doing before Empire. And it was a tremendous amount of work in terms of his background. And ultimately, I had to go put that work in to go figure out and to find out. Also, to educate myself on a formal level, because there were certain things that, from a technology standpoint, that I just didn't understand and get. It was so complex. It was such a complex um, undertaking to figure out and learn what was going on. And I had a lot of data and a lot of statements to work with, but that really didn't mean anything because a lot of Universal artists and producers have, data and statements and different things to go by. And so you can't really look at it. It's designed so that you can't really look at it and figure it out. But Ghazi's background and where he came from made it clear on what he needed to do and how he could form that label empire. um I decided to set up something that would let everybody be a boss and then service what they were doing. But I had to back up out of that because um I just I can't you can't hand this type of power and information over to anybody.
Right.
So I had to have a method of discerning on who to deal with, who I want to do business with, or do I even want to extend this? Maybe I just want to sign artists, or maybe I just want to collaborate or do a joint venture with different people. Maybe I don't want to just have a store that will service your record label. Like, I would have loved to have done that, but you'll be tied up with the next evil sinister in no time doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be part of something you don't want to be a part of just because you're trying to do business.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Another. I'm not gonna hold you
But
on
to
here.
be clear, about my answer on that, it was a combination of Dolph and Ghazi, and it was proper for that period of time. Um, the formula is still working. He's doing something similar with. He saw the same thing in Sauce Walker later on, and so the formula is still there. It still works, but remember, the people who possess the information are few or far between, and a lot of them they're not going to talk about the information. They're not going to talk about what they do. They're just going to simply send you over a contract.
Okay. Um, Steven says, how would you it says ask him Would you ask him how he thinks Paper Route is still thriving with Dolph's son being the CEO?
Without who being the CEO?
With Dolph's son is the CEO of Paper Route.
Well, they're thriving because they own property, intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
And so the entire Paper Route catalog, Dumber and Dumber, Dumb and Dumber, Dumb and Dumber 2, shitting on the industry all the way to Paper Route Illuminati and everything in between. They own lock, stock, and barrel. And so that's going to produce a certain amount of money, you know, every year, every quarter. And it is amazing what he built, you know, and everyone should strive to build something similar or something like that. You know,
Well,
if you're
according to
doing it, you're
Gotti,
into
he's
music.
independent.
Who?
According to Yo Gotti and Endless, they are independent record. Like they the
Independent
same.
as a company with a partnership with a major.
Okay.
Remember, this once I done put the flag
Every time he get ready to tell it, they do something. He goes
and the
out.
jargon, so you know what I'm saying? I can say anything. I can say a lot
Mm-hmm.
of things because you don't understand the jargon. You feel what I'm saying? Hello?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Ian, can you hear? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we went out. I said, once I have the platform to, the branding and all of this behind it, I said, I can say things in a way where the majority of the people really don't understand it.
Right.
Right. So, independent in partnership with the major, or I have concluded my business with the major and now independent. But once again, who is CMG? I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? From what I see, a guy from Dallas, Texas, and Memphis ain't feeling his music, and Glorilla. And we might as well just say Glorilla, not Rock Nation. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
We might as well say Moneybag, Rock Nation. Because that's who's handling everything, that's who's doing everything. But we talk about a clique, a brand, a roster of artists, and a group of people. That's just something that you saw in a video and that's stuck in your head. That's all.
This right here is sticking out of my head. So basically, what you said early on is what Gotti and them are doing to these artists is they are giving them an advance, license it, really taking all of their intellectual
What's the
property.
guy? What? Listen, QC is signing artists. Gotti, Gucci is the only one that gave a nigga a fair shot, and we ain't even heard you rap one goddamn song, and Gucci signed you, gave you a boatload of money, because all the rest of these people, they already had four to $700,000 in not in publishing, but in just total revenue already out there that they didn't know how to collect it. Glorilla, for sure. What was the first song? I forgot the viral song.
F nigga free. She already had that when he signed her.
Before this song it was already raking in money.
Right.
You just ain't know nothing about the music business to collect any of it. I'm talking about none of it. What's the guy named also B.O. Kenny had his own buzz. They fuck with him, they fuck with his music before he was signed to anybody. The other guy that QC signed, the young guy that sings the blues songs. Already had massive videos on YouTube with hella traction and all that publishing and all that master recording revenue and the ASCAP BMI. It was already out. He just had no idea on step one how to collect it, because if he would have collected it and he would have had way more money before a deal. And it's not just singling him out. I'm just saying you couldn't give a guy like that $150,000. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, listen, I can literally go on here and say, Tamara, that's a cold song. Real Talk with Tamara, man. And look at your song on YouTube and say, here it is right here. And, oh, shit, she got 4 million views on this one. Okay, here's somebody else posted the Real Talk with Tamara song. It's got 10 million. Okay, here go. These people posted. It's got, and so when I get through adding up, I see, damn, this song got 50 million views on YouTube. And I go in my calculator, I do the math, and you know what I say?
What?
I'm gonna call Real Talk with Tamara and offer her $75,000. See if she go for it. Because ain't nobody collected none of this, and I see 400,000. I see 400. I know it's 400,000. If I get control of these goddamn songs, Real Talk with Tamara, I'm gonna actually have 400,000. I wonder we should take 50. You see what I'm saying? I wonder if I could convince her to take 50. What if we do 50 and a 2025 Mercedes S-Class? You think she'll go for that? You feel what I'm saying? I just know I'm going to profit because the money's it's showing. It's on the screen. YouTube is one of the platforms that gives a visual count. So it has a visual count of views. So I know this is 400,000. I'm not thinking it's 400,000. I fucking know it. And so I'm going to start out in a profit position because I'm going to give Tamara 75. And I'm 325. Hook or crook, I'm going to get that money. See what I'm saying? I'm starting off like this. I'm not investing. I'm not taking no damn risk on if Tamara, Real Talk with Tamara, gonna blow. I'm not doing. She is already 400,000. She don't even know how to collect. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Ain't that some
Wow.
shit? Because they're not educated, and I ain't talking about shit, and they ain't listening. They on other shit. So they got to continue to get ripped off because they ain't picked up on the game from a real player yet. See, it's just like when a woman get with a certain type of man, she picking up on some real game now. So things are going to change. But that's exactly the same thing with these artists. They ain't trying to. Majority of the women out there don't even believe that there will be a change or that the information. I'm using this also. I'm doing an analogy. I'm using an analogy. So it's just like with the women and or men or of picking a man as a leader, or seeking out good information from a good source or a good advisor. It's the same thing. I don't want to make it man and women type thing, but when you get this information and when you come into the understanding and when you receive the proper perspective about all of this, then how you move and how you do business is going to change. But
Right.
it's not the fun part. See, this ain't standing on the couch with the bottles and I got this on, I got that on, and I'm smoking weed and I'm lit. See, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? See, can you talk in class and still make straight A's? Because I could. See, you got to be able to do both. You got to be popping and smart.
Got to be able to talk and chew gum,
You got to
right?
be popping and smart. You can't just be popular and dumb. I'm, my mama know I got all N's and U's and conducts. I don't do number bullshit in these folk class all day long. This is what this is what I do. But I got A's and B's. And she told me you can't live in this house with nobody. You can't come in this house with no F's at all, period. But I had N's and U's in conduct now. But I like them girls. So I'm in there entertaining. Keep it real with you. But I know all this shit though, really. See, I know all this shit. I'm really listening while the lady talking and talking to the girl. I'm really, my ear working two ways. You see what I'm saying? I'm taking in the information and I'm still popping it. You see what I'm saying? And so you got to be able to do both. And that's what makes you good. That's what makes you like really good. Like that's what puts you in a position to be great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord have
My
mercy,
son,
Mr. Ian.
my son the same way, but I have to give him the duality. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I said, "Oh, you really have dropped, really are dropping some nuggets tonight."
Yeah, they've been propagandized and abused and exposed and treated badly by the Jewish people that run the music business, and that's not all Jewish people.
Well,
Um,
why do they continue to sign
because of money,
money
money.
that they gotta pay back? See, a lot of people get these advancements. Okay, so
I'm trying
like the
to shit
700.
on. I'm trying to shit on this dude that's hating on me. I'm finna sign this shit. Finna sign my goddamn life away, and I'm finna go get this car, and I'm finna shit on these people. Yeah, we have went to the level of ignorance of that. It's unimaginable. Goddamn it, you feel what I'm
So
saying?
that's $750,000 that your guy counted out to ESTG.
Well, ESTG told you that. He told you the story that everybody can leave this after this. Go watch what ESTG said.
What did he say? Tell us, cause I don't
He
know.
he said in the freestyle and in the interview that your guy ain't gave him no money like that.
That money he counted out.
And he told y'all it wasn't real. That wasn't what went on. This is what he said. Let's make sure y'all don't go to quote me.
Somebody just said in the chat, he said that he didn't get that money, but I remember when Juke was standing there next to him and ESTG came in, he put it all in the money
I
machine and
remember
all.
when the Easter Bunny came to my school. The hell that mean? You feel what I'm saying? What the hell do that mean? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, all these people, these characters, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these folks characters, man. And
What was
it's
the
all
purpose of
good.
signing the little dude down there? And I like the guy in Dallas, but then he come to Memphis. Memphis should be his home away from home. The club should. Why wouldn't he?
They
I
ain't
don't,
got they don't have that type of hold on Memphis like that no more. You know what I'm saying?
is that why he ain't doing the birthday bash in Memphis?
It's old. And people, I really, I'm gonna tell you something that amazed me, and I'm gonna tell you, this says a lot about Memphis, Tennessee, right here. You listen to me on this. Them people really woke up and figured this out, and I thought they were never gonna figure it out, and they really woke up on their own and figured it out. But I guess you can do a certain amount of wrong or a certain amount of people wrong to where it'll become apparent and clear that like this nigga rotten. You feel what I'm saying? Like this nigga hurt pitiful. You feel what I'm saying? It get to that
Mm-hmm.
point, bro. It get to that, bro. It get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga beautiful, bro. You feel me? Like, first of all, Grove Hero have built more playgrounds and community. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about this the kids, bro. Let's leave everybody out of it, okay? This the kids. Yeah, ain't no community center. Nothing. Library. No. Nothing. All right.
And ain't trying to do nothing. Mayhem.
The the feds released something where Jook had $49,000 in the account. Like the feds released information regarding his bank account, and he had like 40 some $1,000 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kept
But
these
people
people.
said that Juke was part owner of MG.
We talking about legitimate money that you can deposit that there's no problem with you showing. Music money, CMG money.
Right. All right.
This man kept these people without this loan. Your brother.
Why do you think the other people have been? Because I was saying before, like before, Govan started talking to people like Grip and um well I had already heard about B Mims. Okay, I knew he wasn't clean,
Well,
but they
B
managed to
Mill.
keep their noses clean, and their seats, their executives of these companies. Do you think they being paid right?
B Wood stole. I mean, B Mill stole him 250,000 and bought him a Jimmy John's. I told you that because God, be- because because God was never going to give him that kind of money. And you know what? I was like, B Mills is wrong, and but now that when I went back and thought about that, you should have took more than that, B Mill, because you worth more than that, and you did a tremendous amount of work to brand them artists. You deserve what more than what you took, and that's the truth.
B Mims took 250 from CMG.
Took it from Black Youngster. He was cutting it off of shows,
Oh, okay.
but it wasn't an authorized amount. That wasn't the understanding.
What do you think? Black Youngster mad at him?
They got past that. That was that BET Awards. They was into it.
Because 250, that's a lot of darn money.
At that time, it wasn't to them, and they made it right.
Well, he should have invested in the subway, because Jimmy John's on his damn way out of business.
He's a very good day trader. To be fair,
Okay.
yeah. To be fair, he's really good. Really good. He's
Well,
really
he
good.
need to be, because he gonna need some lawyers after a
Yeah,
while.
and I don't agree with none of that bullshit. I don't fuck with these character ass niggas. I'm just gonna tell the truth. I ain't finna get on her and just, you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta take a break right there and let y'all know that nah, it ain't, but I'm just keeping it real, you know. But um he wasn't gonna pay him that amount. He wasn't gonna pay him properly, and what he got out of it is what he got out of it, and you know that's how they go. The original company I&E, I think God had learned really early that I don't want anybody to be a co-owner with me, and basically just wrote Grip out of the whole script from an ownership standpoint.
But Grip is like an executive now, though, right?
What is that?
I don't
Where's the offices at where these executives go that you see all this just shit in folks' heads. This shit in people's head. And I'm fine with it. Do I get it? Unless you tune in to Real Talk with Tamara, I'm not getting into all that. You feel what I'm saying?
know. Right.
Yeah, I'm not getting into
Hey,
all
listen,
that.
listen, all we know is what these people have on their Instagrams and stuff. We don't know.
Okay, I get it. I got you. But it's a title, it's a title. And if you've worked in that capacity at some point, you can justifiably put that up on your Instagram.
Capital Owens Capital says so. Gotti doesn't have a corporate office in Dallas. Oh yeah, I remember that. He said the headquarters was in Dallas, but you ain't heard nothing else about it.
I mean, when it comes down to corporate entities, I can put that anywhere. I can put it at a PO box. I can put it in a virtual office. I can put it in an apartment. I can put it at a house. So that is of no consequence because uh, this is a fictitious entity that functions as a just like a person with a 9-digit number known as an EIN that has the dash in a different position than the social security number. You think about that.
Okay, and you're right. You could say the headquarters is in Dallas, and it's a PO box. You're
They
absolutely
say that the
right.
corporation is the greatest invention, the greatest thing the white man ever invented. The corporation. Because it's another you that's not you that can be anywhere or nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it can also have a credit file. And it can also borrow. And it can also have a bank account.
Well, I think about this, Mr. N, because I remember, Memphis. That's from Memphis, right? Mickey
That's a
Wright.
dope guy, man. I met Memphis when I was really young at Dallas Austin studio.
They asked Memphis. I forget who he was. It was one of those record companies that he was working for. They asked him, so how much was you making? Like what, 250 a year? He said, no, I was making 500,000. So I think these executives, when we think about record executives, like what these people have, like Grip and all of them, we thinking about that. Like at least they're getting at least like 250 to 500 a year.
If you're working for a major label, it depends on your position at the label.
Mm-hmm.
A&R versus uh, executive or vice president of A&R or president of Urban Radio, uh, vice president of Urban Radio. So there's a lot of positions there. But for a salary like that, you would definitely be at a major label and um, not on the lower tier, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, they said Endless um, Records show that their headquarters is at the post office.
My point exactly. My point exactly.
So, Mr. N, what do you have cooking as it relates to educating these young dudes on?
Well, the book is on Amazon, and you
What's
got to
the
get
name of it?
um, um, the royalty collection strategy on music money, the perfect music money setup. So go on Amazon and you can type in the perfect music money setup, or you can type in MISTA second word IAN. The link is on my Instagram, I think, and my Facebook. So, but it's on Amazon, and you really need the basics because we can't get into the other part of it if you don't understand the basics of copywriting, of collecting the master royalties versus the publishing royalties versus the royalties associated with the words, the lyrics, and ASCAP and BMI collects that. ASCAP American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. So this is all dealing with people who write great things and put things out that are, you know, to an audience, whether it's poetry or a song or a rap song or whatever it is. It's being performed, and this company represents the writers. Uh, so you need to get all of the basics down, and understand how the money is collected. Once we get that down, then we can get to the numbers and try to help get the numbers where they need to be. But a lot of young people already have momentum, especially in Memphis, and they already have activity and numbers in terms of an audience and people liking what they're doing. And so you want to know how to collect what's coming from that just in case or when it goes really, really big,
Mm-hmm.
because this is the chance to, um, buy your house and set yourself up and to, you know, put yourself in a great position just all around.
Yeah. So I still have this idea. I don't know why I just can't let it go. Um, who wants to be the next the biggest? I just think that it should be a contest. Whoever wins get to work with you and with Drama Boy. Y'all help them with some beats. Help to put them on out of
Yeah,
Memphis.
yeah, that would be dope. I don't know how exactly it's going to take the right people, and the industry needs all type of people. We need people to facilitate something like that. We need people to connect people. This is the business of it. This is the networking part of it. Well, you won't get in touch with that person, so I'll do the legwork part of it. So we need managers, we need business people. Um, the way that they're putting a tremendous the people with money are putting a tremendous amount of money into this because if you really understand the formula, there is nothing, not mutual funds, not a life insurance policy, there's nothing that will pay a return like this once you understand how the game is played. And someone to help you understand this better, in my book I speak about how someone owns the words to happy birthday. The happy birthday to, no, someone owns that. Someone owns that. Don't think that's just some song you singing. But if you try to go sing it on a television show, on the news, or anything where it's being published to an audience, a royalty must be paid. Now, how could this happen? Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone owns the words to happy birthday to you. If you put whether it's friends or um, in a movie with Chris Tucker or, wherever this shows up at, a royalty must be paid. So this is something that will possibly never in the history of the world stop making money. Now, every song isn't that type of song, but we're still talking about grandkids, 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 grandkids. Even for somebody like Tay Keith, even for somebody like Drummer Boy, good example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Was
this,
Drama Boy signed to somebody?
I don't know the extent of Drummer Boy's deal, but I did put him on the phone with the head of publishing and the president of Universal Publishing. Um, I stepped away from the studio where we were all recording at, and I went back to his office and I told him about Drummer Boy. And I think he was like, you're not talking about you. And just the fact that I was talking about Drummer Boy in that way And I was already in there, you know, like I was in the building in the main office, so obviously I knew I had already navigated my way. And this is in Los Angeles, California, at the headquarters. And so I told him about Drummer Boy, and things that they had gave Nakia and um, Jack Frost, the co-owners of Rap Hustlers, uh, like $1 million publishing deal, which really wasn't nothing but $100,000 up front, with a promise to make the rest of the money throughout the music they put out. And so I was like, you know, Drummer Boy, he deserves he's the guy who's really making all these fucking beats. You know what I'm saying? And y'all already cashed that little check right there. So I'm gonna go and tell him about Drummer Boy. And so I made the decision to do that. Nakia was pissed.
They said Drummer Boy basically one of the main producers that built Jeezy's career, basically.
ATL wouldn't be shit. Musical landscape wouldn't be shit without Memphis producers. Nothing. They wouldn't exist. Don't believe it. Especially Drummer Boy. And also Jazzy, you know.
Is Jazzy from Memphis?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jazzy Faye is from Memphis, isn't he?
Yes. Without Jazzy and Drummer Boy, Drummer Boy was the product of a just an amazing process that went on between Slice T and Insane Wayne. And while this process was going on, Drummer Boy was in high school. The reason I ended up in the middle of it is because I was producing. I mean, I was coming out with my first album with Walking Like a Dog and all that stuff right there on there. And so I got put. When I saw Slice T for the first time on the keyboard and the computer, and that shit was just unbelievable. That was like, this shit is unbelievable. This guy here is unbelievable. He's unbelievable. That's the best words I could say. And so Drummer Boy was Insane Wayne's little brother, and Wayne and Slice were just banging out, 3 6 Mafia albums. Let Me See Your Tongue Ring with Slice T. Tear the Club Up, the new version that they did with the video too, that was Slice T. Um, Let Me See Your Gold Shine with Slice T. The Gangsta Boo album, Inquiring Minds with Slice T. Tila, Show Enough with Slice T, Jazzy. So they were literally just building the entire everything we knew up until that point, and this was
Yeah.
Wayne's little brother, and so Drummer Boy went to Atlanta with just a background that Atlanta couldn't even begin to comprehend. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they
Mhm.
just were not ready. They just weren't ready. They weren't. They were nowhere near ready, because even before like Slice had the sounds he were using were equivalent to right now, which is 64-bit. And Drummer Boy stepped onto Atlanta's scene with this level of understanding on how this how this is supposed to be done. And it just blew everything. And you got Thug Motivation 101 album. You got numerous tracks on there that he would not give me. Standing Ovation, I heard that in Cordova in the garage. We were sitting in the car, and I was like, "Give me this beat," and he was like, "I can't give you this beat." I was like, "Bob, give me this beat, bro." And he like, "Bro, I can't give you this beat, bro. I swear to God, if I give it to you, I will give it to you. I can't give it to you." But it was Standing Ovation, and Yo Gotti, that's what's up. We had a big thing about that. I was pissed, and we got to arguing, and he was like, "I already sold this beat, bro." I was like, "Fuck you, drama. Fuck you."
So do you think drama got like those hard beats? Like, cause Yo Gotti got two songs that I know I like, and it is "That's What's Up" and Five Star Chick. So, was Drama set up to continuously make sure he got residuals off of his work?
Oh hell yeah, that man, he's smart, man. Hell yeah, he's super smart. He got the chance to be Wayne's little brother and be around Slice T, and all of these songs was coming out. Like Paul and Juicy was leaning on Slice like that, leaning on him. Chapter 2, World Domination. Tell the Club of Thugs. Tila Show Enough, the Show Enough album. Tila,
Drummer Boy did Tila show now.
um, yes, that's Slice. And The World Ain't Enough, Tila. Scarface, Monica, Street Symphony. Um, Slice was he was just amazing. And Drummer Boy was the high schooler that was just sitting there watching all this come together. So of course he went to Atlanta and uh, Gucci Mane, Lemonade, um, No Hands. Uh, he had this one song that was so funny. I used to fuck with him about. I was like, man, he was coming out with so many songs in Atlanta that was buzzing that I was telling John Boy, I was like, this shit garbage, man. But that shit was on the radio. That shit had Atlanta in a chokehold. I forgot the name of this song. It's one song that it's so funny. And the artist was this fat guy. I forgot what the name of this song. I'm gonna remember when we get off of here. But it was just funny because it's like for a minute there, everything he was producing, like Atlanta was just picking that shit up, running with it. Yep.
Wow. So they got that. They got a lot of that Memphis
We
sound.
had a lot of great times. We had really nice cars, really nice place to stay. We hung out in the studios all the time in Atlanta. We were in the clubs all the time. We was them niggas from Memphis. Like we didn't come to play, man. We weren't doing no playing. Yeah. We had great. We've been blessed, man, beyond measure. Trust me. Trust me. You know.
I tell you what, we definitely got to bring back because I'm gonna tell y'all something. On a low love, like I like that New Orleans type beat because it's got those drums and stuff in it. It's
Yeah.
that happy type music, that Memphis
Happy.
type music. Yeah,
Yes, and see, it's the second line. That's where it comes from.
yeah.
And I got back down to Florida around the Haitian and Creole culture, and somebody close to me unfortunately passed, and I went to the funeral, and the dress code first of all was all white. I was like, all white. Well, I know people do different stuff these days. You know what I'm saying? So they said, and it started at 8 in the morning. I said, 8 in the morning? They was like, yeah, it started at like 8 or 9 in the morning. I was like, what? And so when I got there, the band was out there. The second line was out there. And they was jamming in front of the church house. And so even in a sad time, they choose to be happy. And that's the strength of that music and that bounce and that New Orleans and that happy type of feeling, that type of culture. You feel what I'm saying? But I got
Yes.
right back down here to Florida, and it was one of my sons. It was his grandfather, to be honest with you, and they wanted him to wear all white at the funeral. And I was like, all white, but they was out there dancing around and second lining. That's what it's called. They had the big drum, do 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 do, and playing the same music in New Orleans is the same. It was the same vibe, and I was like, wow, this is, you never know where you're gonna have a musical experience that help you kind of see things differently.
All young artists. Up and come, especially y'all need to get Mr. N's book, and y'all need to get with Mr. N. Mr. N, you still be going into the studio making them beats.
Yeah, the music, the first two singles are done, and I'm putting the finishing touches on it. Everybody really waiting on me, to be honest with you. All the radio people, all my radio people, all of everything is gonna go just as planned. And I talked to Jackson Brown, who's a big radio person there. Ricardo Hunter, which all of y'all know, big radio person. My, I have contacts in other places, but we're gonna do 25 cities. They're gonna hear this music, and it's gonna be something that they need at this point. The thing about turning the page, it takes someone who with insight and the level of creativity to say, well, we've done all of this, and this ain't what it should be. What do we do next? What do they want to hear? What y'all want to do next? What are they gonna be feeling? And they take to there's not this because we really done with that. I mean, y'all, your superheroes gone to federal prison for trying to rob Gucci, man. So I don't know what the hell you gonna do next. You
Do you
feel what
think
I'm
do
saying?
you think Glorilla stand a chance of saving?
I like Glorilla music. I just think that the female aspect is gonna need different it's gonna need a different the writing is not the best, but it's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Right.
writing is not the best, but it's entertaining. But it's not. It don't sound like it's going nowhere. Like it's not telling a story or making these, uh, giving these real life experiences on a level where But it's entertaining, and the beat bumping, and so it is what it is. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But it's what's next. You know. What's next? And I've heard some artists from Memphis,
Yeah.
a couple female artists, They are very creative. I can't think of the name right at this moment, but there are a couple female artists that are doing different things and that sound very different. And I'm very proud of those young women. Next time I get on the show, I'll get the names so I can shout them out. But that's what it's all about.
Okay. Well, Mr. N, I definitely enjoyed having you on tonight. As listen, you've been on here almost 3 hours. Like I said, listen, a lot of people you've answered basically every question, and then you always give us knowledge, which is what is needed, especially in our community. And hey, listen, you always what you say, it always seem to come to pass. On this quit thing, I want to believe, but I think I want to sit. I want to see how this one is gonna play out. I definitely I know you said 48 months, but um, I guess we're gonna see. So, what would it mean if he get out in August on probation? The feds don't really give you no bond, or I mean a bond.
I
The
hope they
feds
do
don't
it.
really give you no bond.
I hope he, I hope whatever supposed to happen, it happens. But just from a legal standpoint and just being real, just go on back there and lay down, man. And let me tell you something else. It come a time like that because you got a light sentence, not a life sentence. You got a light sentence, and so it comes time where God just pumping the brakes on you. For you do you stayed alive this long? Amazing, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Now somebody think you should go sit down. Basically. I don't know who you want somebody to be. You can say the feds, you can say God, you can say circumstance, you can say the universe, you can say what you want to. But somebody think enough of your life that they said go, hey, go on over there and sit down, man. But like I said, people on his ass, and he gonna have to, you know, can't do it in PC because in a year you'll lose your mind.
Well, if he go out in population, something could happen.
Well, that and I'm talking about certain stipulations. You know what I'm saying? Stick when you got them stipulations on you, you can't be out. You can't be out there in populations. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, he ain't told nothing as far as we know. So,
Yeah, if it's meant for them, it'll go. But I'm just telling you, because I don't want the young people to think that you can go and do something and go in front of a federal judge or a federal prosecutor and think that no, don't do it. So that's what I got to say about that.
so in closing, what would you like to say to the people, Mr. N? We know you want them to get your book. Have you gotten your stuff up online as it relates to the royalty thing that you had going on?
Yeah,
Teaching people how to get
because I don't know if I want, I don't want to make the wrong people. I don't want to put the wrong, because I had to turn down some situations as well, but I'm not trying to, I have to figure out the right format for this. And giving away the information or the basic information, everybody needs that. But the ability to scale in terms of the numbers and the revenue, either I'm going to keep that self-contained in house, or I'm just going to do some great partnerships. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to get in business with Govan Jr. You feel what I'm saying? Like that ain't what I'm trying to do. You feel what I'm saying? Like just no, And so, I think the right situation will come to pass. Everyone, you have to go and educate yourself on this. If you have children that's doing music, or if you're doing music, you have to go and educate yourself. You have to know what's going on. Um, um, look for the new video. Look for the new video from Mr. N, the new song from Mr. N, and check out the message that I'm giving, and check out where I'm going with it all. You can always DM me for serious business, and we'll get it popping. But get the book, and try to educate yourself on what's going on, and you know that's it. That's it. And shout out to the city of Senatobia. Our prayers out with those people down there that's dealing with
yeah.
that situation. Maybe we'll cover that or get on it next time. But you guys stay safe, and it's not worth it. Patience, prayer, and taking control of your own destiny. That's what I want to say. That's what I want to encourage everybody to do.
Mr. N, do you be up at 8 o'clock in the morning your time?
I think I do. Yeah, 8 or 9.
Okay, if you up at 8 o'clock your time, it's 7 o'clock our time. Get on my praying line.
Okay, well, who is that?
I have a prayer line.
Oh yeah. Oh, you said you have a prayer line. Okay, okay. Yeah, absolutely. I'll come in there and check out what y'all got going on. There's no problem.
We're
Yeah.
on for 15 minutes every single day, Monday through Sunday, from 7 a.m. Central Time to 7:15. Um,
I never heard this. When did this start?
I started doing this back in January,
Okay.
and it has really started growing. I'm getting ready to show you right now. And with people coming in and all of that, I just feel like we got to come into agreement and do some. We have to come into agreement and do some praying. Hold on 1 minute. I have it on. I'm gonna start putting it on my here it is right here.
Okay.
So that's the praying line, morning reset, 15 minutes of prayer. And that's the number and that's the code. It has definitely been growing. And I really would love for men to start getting on and agreeing with us and everything. I feel like we speak everything into the atmosphere, and if it lines up with the will of God or what some people call him, the creator, I think it's good. We've started getting men to get on there, right? As a matter
Mm-hmm.
of fact, and they come into agreement with us as we pray and we command the morning and all of that. And I would love it for more men to get on because I feel like men should be leading the community.
Absolutely. 53.6% of the households in Memphis are single mothers. So we got to do better.
We definitely got to do better because if we need more men. If not, people like him, and I love him. People like him start to get rich. He waiting on our sons to call him, ain't it? And our daughters.
Absolutely. For real though. And we just gotta step into something. A lot of people are just ain't on nothing. Me and my partners, we got a saying, we gonna put you on the don't want to do nothing list. Because you don't want to do nothing. You feel what I'm saying? And that's you just want to bullshit around, and you don't want to do nothing. So, too many people not on nothing. They got to. You can hustle and educate yourself and start a new thing. While you still getting it together. That's cool too. So I encourage everybody to do that and try to do more. You know.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you getting on tonight. I know you got to go. I could hear the sirens in the background, all of that. I
Oh, it's
appreciate
a
you because
Friday night. Yeah, it's a
I
Friday
I know
night.
I was going to say it's almost like 1 o'clock where you are.
They just woke up. The party don't start about 2:33.
I know listen, my cousin used to always say when they would ask me to go out, I would be like, okay, we need to leave out at like 5 or 6. They're like, we don't get out until 9. What you talking about?
For
I'm like,
real,
I'm ready to
okay.
be back in the house at 9.
Nah, these people down here don't. You don't get to the club in Miami before 3. Really,
At 3 what? In the
a.m.
morning?
Yeah, it's gonna go to 8, 9. It's gonna be morning dew on the cars in the parking lot at 7:30. These people, it's a line at 7:30, 7 a.m. I'm serious.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's a
That's
different
too
level of
late.
party. Yeah, so yeah, it's Friday night, so you know.
Thank you, the Black Barbie. She said your prayer line starts today. Mr. N, we definitely Mr. N, what's your cash app so that my audience can
My
bless you?
cash out. I don't need no money for. I don't need nobody to send me no money on cash.
Okay. You know
You
what?
can say justice for
Miss
dog.
now
Y'all,
Mr. M, I love real look, don't do that because I be loving the real men. You heard what that man just said. I
yeah.
don't need
Nah, I
nobody to
mean,
send
yeah,
me.
we
I'm a
good on
man.
all. Yeah, we straight on it, man. I mean, I appreciate that, and when my channel go up, if I decide to do a channel and do some stuff, I'll put that up. But hey, man, nah, I'm cool.
Uh, Gentlemen, did a lot of you out hear that? That's a real man right there. I don't need nothing.
Well, they might, if your job is this and, you want to show support, I understand that now. But um, in this particular case, we're not gonna do that tonight.
Okay.
Right.
All right, Mr. N. Listen, y'all. Is there anything else you want to say, Mr. N?
No, thank you guys for listening. Stay tuned in to Real Talk with Tamara. This is a platform where I'm able to come to and really talk to y'all, communicate with y'all. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Those that did tune in tonight, and because I'm so busy in and out doing stuff, me setting up a channel and doing all of this right here, this is a way where I can get the message out to young people and to really bring everybody up to speed on things. And so stay locked in with Real Talk, and we gonna get through this, y'all.
All right, you guys. Listen, I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. I'm gonna try to at least get some of my homework out the way. Anyways, you all, I love you all. Shout out to Mr. N. Mr. N, what's your handler on social media?
At MISTAIAN.
At Mr. N.
Right, that's
Listen,
Instagram, and on
that's
Facebook, IAN Carrera.
spell Carrera.
CARRERA on Facebook, Carrera, Ian Carrera, and on Instagram, MISTAIAN.
Y'all reach out to him for some business, ladies.
Yeah,
Don't
hit
be
me up, man.
la-
Hit me up.
ladies.
Let's go.
Ladies. Don't be trying to code him because y'all know he look like them because he looked like the Iranians. Okay,
Oh Lord,
I tried to get him to tell me if he was half Iranian or not. He say
I'm
he
not.
not.
I'm not
He
half
say he a
Iranian.
black guy. So all black guys. So
I'm not at half Iranian. That's for sure.
you're all African American.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, you guys. I love you all. You all have a good night. This was an awesome show.
I thought it was dope.
They ain't trying to get off. Yeah, I'll come back. I'll be back on in the morning.
Yeah,
Y'all want it. Look, they want Ian to stay on. He full of energy
we'll do it.
tonight.
We'll do it a little more often. Yeah, we'll do it a little more often. So we'll set it up, and we'll come up with something. We'll do a little bit more often.
Okay. No, I don't. He said he all black. They say you half Hispanic. No, he say he all. He say he all black.
But we're not getting into that because what we need to get into is how we're going to come together and create change.
That's right. And we'll
Right.
get back on and talk about
Yeah, what kind of shoes you got on right now? That don't make no
well,
sense.
I had
I'm just saying.
when I walked up to my door today, I had a pair of stilettos waiting on
Well,
me. I'm back on
I'm
it.
just messing with you. Do you still deliver? You still delivered the message and the show you were supposed to deliver tonight, and that's what's important. So we got to kind of get to this important stuff. Although I don't mind sharing anything that I know or anything about me, I just want it's just so pertinent that we get on the right stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. They said, Mr. N, they said that's big boss talk.
Yeah, for real, it is though. We got to get there, y'all. So let's stay locked in. Real talk. Let's do it again. Let's not let it be so long next time.
Okay. All right, you guys. We'll do this again real soon. I love you all. Y'all have a good night. Thank you, Mr. N.